My novel is called All the Beggars Riding, and it's the story of a plastic surgeon from Belfast who, during the Troubles, is headhunted to work at a plastic surgery clinic in Harley Street. He falls in love while he's there with a much younger nurse, and for the next 2 decades he leads a double life. He has a wife and 2 children in Belfast, and a mistress and 2 children in London. This story is told by the mistress's daughter grown up. The first half of the book is her memoir, as she recounts this unusual childhood she had and when she started to realise that things weren't normal, when the truth came out. And then the second half, she attempts to tell her parents' story as fiction. The story started when I had a very strange dream about a plastic surgeon with double lives. It was really uncanny, and this is many years ago, before I'd even written my second novel, and I sort of jotted it down in a notebook, and I started keeping my eyes peeled for stories of people who had, double families or a second life, and I would tell people that I was looking into this, and I might be at a festival giving a reading and people would say, "What are you working on?" and I'd mention it, and the amount of people that came up to me and told me their stories was really remarkable. And so the research wasn't anything really journalistic or anything rigorous. It was just sort of years collecting these stories and feeling my way into them and into my characters. The meeting point took about 5 or 6 years, all in all. I mean, I was doing other things at the same time, but it was researching. I had to research Bahrain, I had to research Islam, I had to research Christianity, and so writing The Meeting Point was often a process of distilling what felt like research or what felt like travel writing into a story. The Meeting Point also is written in the third person, and I think because I write plays as well, I'm much more of a ventriloquist. I find the first person much easier. I can hide myself in the character, and there's no sense of sort of me, Lucy Caldwell, the author, being present. But in the third person, for ages, I found it really uncomfortable to write in, because there was always the idea that I was there present. It wasn't the character speaking through me. So for The Meeting Point, I had to learn to do that, and it was a relief to go back to the first person. All the Beggars Riding is told in the first person, and when it is in the third person, it's my character imagining the story, and so it felt like a very different book to write. The first half of it is a memoir as well, and so I spent a lot of time reading memoir and trying to capture the tone of memoir, which seems to me fundamentally different to the tone of fiction. And it was a very intense book to write. The Meeting Point was years and years of research distilled, but with All the Beggars, I had to somehow write it. The actual writing was relatively swift and very, very immersive, very intensive, because the story seemed to demand to be written with that urgency.